Now, today we're making our own oak skirting. So I've just got a short bit here, but I'll showing you the basics of how I'm going to do it. Now, it's an 8x2, so I'm going to cut my skirting eventually at 170mm. So that's just a wee bit off the top bottom so I can get it square. Now, when we look down it, you can see there's a round on it, but it's nearly straight. I don't know if you can see it. It's just needing a wee plane to get it straight. I'm not too bothered about the bend in it just now. So what I'll do is I'll get my wee planer and plane it so it's straight both sides. Okay, I'll do that. Now what I've got here is old-fashioned way of doing it before all these fancy new tools. So I've got three sticks, same height, same thickness, and what you do, you look through them all and see if there's any twist in the stick, and there's a very slight twist either at this corner or the back opposite corner. So I'll use these, get it flat and get back to you. Now, just a wee tip, make sure you mark the tops of your sticks so you know that they're the same way up all the time. Okay, now I've planed this and I think you'll find it's pretty flat and it's no twist whatsoever. So I'm quite happy with that. Now, what I'm going to do now is put it through the saw. Now, when I said saw, I meant planer. So my rough size is about 48mm thick. So what I've done is I've set it to 48. Now, I've done a wee video about this wee button here. So the dress side down that I've just done, and then now that's quite a lot. That's marking out the blade there. So what I'll do is I'll lift it up slightly more to 49mm. That's a better shape. Now it might touch at the front there and not at this end, but that's okay. We'll give it a few planes and it'll level itself out, because I've done the dress side down. I know that's flat, and when I put the wood through the planer, it's going to come out flat as well. So I'll get cracking with that. Now that's the first pass. It's just taken off probably, I would say, maybe a mil and a half, just on that first pass. Now with this thicknesser, planer, whatever you want to call it, every quarter turn is 0.5mm, so I'm going to give it half a turn. Next pass is 48mm, so I'll do that and keep going till this top face is done. Now that's her 3 passes, pretty good. This line up the middle here is I've hit a rogue nail in a previous bit of wood and it's taking a wee chunk out the blades. That's all that is, it's nothing to worry about. Now that's perfectly flat. Now what I need to do is straighten it. Now how I'm going to straighten it is, what I've done is got my board up against the blade. Now if you look down here, that edge ain't straight, but my level is. So it's touching either end, it's touching at the far end and it's touching here. So now there's a gap at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push everything over 5mm, 6mm that way and get that ready for cutting. Now the combined width with the stick and the level is 235mm, which doesn't seem right because it's an 8-inch stick. Well, whatever it is, that's what it's worked out at anyway. So now the planed side down, because I know that's perfectly flat, and when I cut this edge, that's going to give me a true 90-degree angle. Okay. Also, before I start cutting, what I tend to do is just have the level and the end of the stick lined up together. So when you push it, you push the whole lot together in a one up against the guide, and you should end up with a bony straight edge along here on the edge of your skirting. Now that's our setup. So I've got 5mm. Oh, shut up! Bloody chicken's going in the pot this weekend. Right, so I've got 5mm coming off here. Push the whole lot in. Now this is going to get loud because the saw is going on. I'll show you how to get a straight edge. Okay, here goes. Now, in theory, that should be one perfectly straight edge. I don't know if you can see that there. It should be perfectly straight and a 90-degree angle here. Okay, so that is pretty sweet. Perfect. Okay, next job. Aye. Pot. Now that's straight, all I have to do is flip around. I have a beautiful straight edge, beautiful flat face. Now my skirtings in the house were 150. That's given me 5mm extra because they need scribed. It's natural stone floor, little tiles, 5-inch square, 6-inch square. So I need to scribe the skirting to that. So I've got the saw set at 150mm. If you watched my wee video about the getting to know your saw, on this saw there's a 10mm discrepancy, so I've got set to 140, which means I'm cutting 150. So I'll cut that to 150 and get back. Now that's her ripped, 150mm. Now what I'm going to do is, because I have 3 square faces, now I'm going to rip right down the middle, and that should give me 2 bits of skirting at 21, 22mm. The thickness I need is 19, is what is in the house, so I'll give me 2mm to play with on each bit to put through the planer. Right, now when you're cutting this full height, obviously you need your riving knife off, which is dangerous, so be bloody careful what you're doing, okay? Now this is, well, like I said, 150, so 75mm. I want to do this in 4 passes. If you try cutting the full 90mm at the height of your blade, you're just going to strain everything and it takes forever. So what to do is put the blade up maybe a quarter of the way, so 75, say 35, 40 millimeters up, 4 centimeters, just an inch and a half. Good, I can know the sizes here. Now just eyeball it. So that's about an inch and a half. Right, so I'll do a pass through this way, and then with the stick I'll just turn it 180 degrees like that, playing the other side. I'll show you what that looks like once I've done it. So here's my first 2 cuts. That was the first pass. This is the second pass. Now I'm going to lift the blade up so it's virtually into the centre. I'll maybe put it just slightly above centre, so when I cut the 4th cut, it should separate the two pieces together. So I'll lift the blade up. Certainly easier with 4 passes instead of trying to do it in 2, especially when you've got like a 2.5 metre piece of oak weighing 30 kilos. You know, I'm just using this as an example, but I'm going to use this for something else. But making your skirtings is the exact same. In fact, I have a couple of bits in the house that this would actually be perfect on, right size. So, right, I'll cut the other 4 cuts and get back. Now, this is cut here. It's the two bits of, that's my 2 facings, skirtings. The burn marks are because you're cutting it like this and you stop moving the stick for just a split second, you end up with burn marks. But they're either not going to be seen or I'm going to plane them off. Now sometimes when you've cut it, you'll find you'll get a wee lip. But because I've got 2 good faces, I can just throw that through the planer, take all that off, get it the same thickness, and they'll both be the same. So I'll do that. Now I've got my planer set up, 20mm. It's definitely going on the pot this weekend. Damn chicken. Right, anyway, so I've got my depth roughly done. Just a perfect, maybe 3/4 of a mil planer. Now I'll pass them through and see what they look like. Now that was 1 pass and it was absolutely spot on height for cutting. Well, almost. I've got a teeny wee bit here. Right, so I'll go down another 1/2 mil, do both sides. No, yeah, do these both sides, these 2 sides. Good God, speak proper. Anyway, I'll redo these sides, flip the boards over and redo these sides again with another 1/2 inch drop, which will give me exactly 19 mil, which is just exactly what we're needing. Okay, now that's both sides done, spot on, 19 mil. Now here there's still a bit of rough sawn wood. That doesn't matter, that's going to be the back side of the skirting. But all it needs now is a wee sand. What it actually is, these have been butterflied, which is perfect. So they were on the stick like that, and that is going to be the face edge, and I've got the perfect place for them to go. So just a wee sand on the face and I'll show you what to do next. Right, so now what we want to do is minimise cupping of your boards. That's when the grain wants to straighten. Okay, so if your grain's like that, your stick is going to want to bend that way to straighten the grain. So what we want to do is go flip your board face up and set your saw depth maybe 5 or 6 mil. That's all you need. And what I'm going to do is run 2 cuts on the back of my board to stop it curving. Okay, so I'll do that and show you what that looks like. Now here's the 2 grooves in the back of each stick. So when I fix that, I'm going to fix it top and bottom against the wall. Then that should never ever want to cup, because the grain is rounded like that, is going to want to push out top and bottom. But when that's fixed in place, that'll never move. Now, because I'm scribing to the stone floor, what I need to do now is I'm going to chamfer the bottom edge 45 degrees. 45 degrees. So when I come to cut the shape of the floor, I'm not cutting out quite as much, and I can use like a floppy sanding disc to get it spot on. So I will set the saw up and cut it at 45 degrees at the bottom edge. Now that's our set, 45 degrees. You don't want to really take anything off the height of it. So line her up just so, even if you're leaving like a mil of stick on the bottom, 1 mil a stick is way better than taking 20 mil of hardwood off. So I'll run that through and show you what it looks like. Now here's what it looks like with the 45 off it. So now when I scribe it, I only need to take off a couple of mil of the stick. Now that's all ready for sanding. I'll sand the face, whoops. I'll sand the face and I'll sand the top. I just want a teeny wee chamfer along the top edge. I'm not wanting anything drastic. You can put fancy moulds on, you can put OG moulds, or if you want you can actually make another piece to sit on top of it. But it's usually better if you mould it onto the actual stick you're going to be working with. So I'll sand that up and show you where they're going to go. Now there you are, finished article, sanded. Sanded the top edge as well. Now next video we're going to show you how to scribe them to the floor, because sometimes they can be pretty wicked. Now obviously this is just short pieces. If you've got long pieces of wood, basic steps, they're all the same. You get your 3 pieces of wood, check for twist. You might need 5 bits, that's fine. Just take your time, get it as flat, the top edge as flat as you can, and then you can work off of that. That's how I do it on site if I need to. Like I say, I've done the whole house, our whole house the exact same. Now the cost of doing this, well, one 8x2 oak board was 10 euros, and it's taken me maybe half an hour all in. Well, half an hour out with the video to make it. So you could say even a kilowatt hour of electric, what's that, well, wherever it is, say £1, just for the sake of argument, and any wear and tear, a couple of quid maybe, if that, maybe the price of a sanding disc. So what's that, £15 per board, per 8-foot board. How much would you be at a workshop to do that, or to go to a local store and buy an 8-foot piece of solid oak skirting boards? You'd be a hell of a lot more than 15 quid, I'll tell you. Right, just a wee contrast of the boards. Finished board, what we started with. Night and day. Okay, enjoy the video, thumbs up. If you could subscribe, that'd be great. Any tools I've used, they'll be there, but I'll put a link in the description, and if you could buy something, we'll get very little from it, but it all helps. So thank you very much for watching. See you next time.